You know that feeling? You're staring at a chart and it's just a mess? Data points are shooting up, then crashing down. It feels impossible to figure out what's really going on. Well, what if I told you there's a simple trick to cut right through that chaos?
Okay, take a look at this. It's all over the place, right? We've got 100, then bam, up to 200, then it craters to 50, then skyrockets to 300. It's just this chaotic zigzag. This is exactly what we call noisy data. And yeah, trying to spot a pattern here, it's pretty much a guessing game.
So let me ask you, could you draw a single line through that and confidently say, this is the trend? I mean, where would you even start? It's tough. All those crazy spikes and dips, they're hiding the real story.
But what if we could just calm all that noise down? What if we could smooth out those wild swings and actually see the pattern that's been hiding underneath all along? Well, guess what? We can. And that's exactly what we're going to break down.
All right, let's get into it. We're about to meet the hero of our story today, and it's called the moving average. It sounds kind of technical, but trust me, it's a super simple but really powerful way to bring some order to all this chaos.
So what is a moving average? Put simply, it's a technique that helps us smooth out data that's collected over time. How? By basically calculating a new, updated average as we move along. It's kind of like, instead of obsessing over every single little up and down, you're taking a step back to see the bigger picture.
And this is the magic of it right here. On the left, you've got that messy, noisy data we were just looking at. But on the right, look at that. After we apply a moving average, we get this beautiful, smooth line that shows us the actual trend. We've essentially just filtered out all the junk to find the important signal.
Okay, so let's start with the most basic type. It's called the simple moving average, or SMA for short. And the main idea here is super simple. It's all about democracy. Every single data point gets an equal vote.
And here's how it works. It's a really logical step-by-step process. First, you choose what's called a window size, like say you decide to look at the last 3 days of data. Second, you just calculate the average for that little window. And then, here's the key part. You slide that window forward one step and do it again. This whole sliding window thing is what creates that nice smooth line we're after.
Let me make this crystal clear. Imagine your data points are 10, 20, and 30. Your simple moving average? It's just 20. See? Easy. Now to get the next point for our smooth line, we just slide our window over. We drop that first number, the 10, add the next number from our data, and find the new average. And we just keep doing that.
Okay, but what if what happened yesterday is more important than what happened last week? That makes sense, right? Well, for that, we have another tool, the weighted moving average, or WMA. The whole idea behind the WMA is that what just happened is probably a better clue about what's going to happen next. So unlike the SMA where everything was equal, the WMA says, hey, let's give more importance, more weight to the newest data points. You know, here's a funny way to think about it. A moving average is kind of like deciding to ignore that one really weird bad day you had and looking at your overall mood for the week instead. And the weighted version? That's like saying, yeah, but how I feel right now is probably a bit more important than how I felt on Monday.
So let's put them side by side. The SMA, the simple one, is, well, simple. Every value has the exact same weight. But the WMA, the weighted one, gives more oomph to the recent data. And because of that, it's often way more responsive and better at catching what's happening right now.
Okay, this all sounds great in a textbook, but where do people actually use this stuff? And are there any catches? Let's talk about the real-world applications and the things you need to watch out for.
Oh, you see moving averages everywhere once you know what to look for. Think about stock prices. Analysts are always using them to spot trends. Businesses use them to see if their sales are generally going up or down. Even weather forecasters use them to smooth out daily temperature swings to see the bigger climate pattern.
But, and this is important, it's not a magic wand. There are definitely some trade-offs. If you smooth the data too much, you might actually erase some important short-term spikes or dips. And remember, it's always based on past data. So there's always going to be a bit of a delay, a lag. That's why people call it a lagging indicator. It's always a step behind what's happening this very second.
Okay, deep breath. Let's wrap this all up. If you're studying for an exam or you just want the one key takeaway to remember, this next bit is exactly what you need.
So here's your perfect exam-ready answer. A moving average is a technique that smooths out time series data. It does this by calculating the average of a certain number of recent data points, and its main job, to help us see the real, underlying trend.
And hey, if you need a quick way to remember the two main types we talked about, it's just S and W. S is for simple, where every data point is treated equally. And W is for weighted, where the most recent stuff matters more.
And really, that's the whole point of all this. Raw data can feel like a total mess. It's confusing, it's noisy, but when you use a tool like the moving average, when you smooth it all out, suddenly the story that was hiding in there all along becomes perfectly clear.